Alright guys, welcome back to Squash Tech Gaming, and I'm your host Kryman. So we're here today to discuss my monk build. So I recently got to endgame with my monk. I'm not building a meta build. I did watch a video or two on how to set up my heralds. Beyond that, I'm kind of just winging it. I'm playing my own game. I'm not following an exact build. Um, I did watch the video to help me set up both the skills and how to set them up so that they proc each other a little bit. Um, and so let's get into it. So here I'm in endgame. I played through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 maps. I had no problems. So here's me playing tier 4 map. Um, so it's just basic. It doesn't have any huge juicing on it. I thought that I'm just testing it out to make sure I can actually handle tier 4 maps because I flew through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So I was like, okay, unjuiced. We'll just see how my build is capable of. And so um, in this, I it's not juiced up, but I'm level 72. Um, so as you can see, I'm flying right through. I'm not having too much trouble. My only issue is trying to keep my mana up. Um, when my heralds proc and I'm using my staff there, it just sucks my mana down really fast. So as I'm going through, um, I'm a little hesitant here at the start because I'm not sure if I can handle it. So as you can see, they're procking and I'm not really having too much issues. So I'm kind of excited in this because as I play through, I've got nearly 300 hours in POE 2. I've played a monk build up to like level 40-ish, and it pretty much it was painful. So I switched over to a mercenary build. I got that all the way up into end game doing tier 6 maps, and I decided I would try something else. So I started a monk build. I finished the campaign, and I will tell you, playing a monk is a whole nother level. It's almost like cheat mode because once I got to through the first um, the level 3 or the third section of the map, not into cruel mode, and just started cruel mode, I just was just wiping everything out, and I was like, wow, this is a whole. I didn't experience that even with my mercenary. I was still struggling through a little bit. I mean, I got all the way up to tier 6 maps, so I was doing okay, but it was not nearly as easy as I've had with the monk. And I'm not playing a particular build other than, Ice Herald because, that seems like the most easy and common thing to use. And I'm kind of stalling out here because something happens in this that I've never had in my 300 hours of gameplay. I actually um, get a divine orb drop, and in all that I've played, I've never had that happen. So I'm pretty stoked. So I got the recording here, and it's coming up. So you guys will get to experience my enjoyment, and hopefully your all's in my first divine orb drop. So as you can see, going through tier 4 or tier 3 not juiced map, I have no no real issues here other than trying to keep up my mana because I mean if you watch, mana just instantly. I mean, I've got 800 mana and it is gone in a heartbeat. So I'm playing through here, and I'm not having too many troubles here in tier 3 maps. And so back to my experience with Mercenary, I mean, I can blow up just about everything around me with my grenades. Um, I started out just using as grenades when I was getting mobbed, and in the end, I actually have a just explosive build, so everything dies around me. Which, I thought, oh, this is way better than I had with the uh, warrior. So I thought, well, that's great. And then I started a monk build, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a whole nother level. Like the game was built around playing a monk, it seems to me. So, um, so we're gonna keep going here, and we're gonna see me finally get a divine orb. So, right here, I'm fighting this, and there it is. Boom, drop the divine orb, and I'm like shocked. I'm like, I pick it up, and I'm like, did I just get a divine orb? So I actually open my inventory here just to check, and I'm like, sure enough, I dropped the divine orb. And then I check some loot, and I go back, and then I'm gonna clear the rest of this map, and we're gonna try some higher level maps and just see. Since this tier 3 not juiced map was a success, um, as you'll see, I clear this. And so then we try some higher level maps and we see what the limits that I have with the monk are. My biggest issue right now is maintaining my mana. So now I'm level 72 here, and I mean, I didn't rush or anything, and I tend to, you know, clear maps. I've respect several points just trying to figure out what a good build is for this, because I don't really want to just follow what everybody else does. Of course, the Heralds being the exception, because when I first set them up, they weren't really proccing. The Ice one, Ice Herald was, but my Lightning Herald was not really doing anything. Once in a blue moon, it would send out a shock, so I was like, well, that's not really working for me. And so I was like, I had to watch a video to try and figure that out. But since I got that figured out, I seem to be like flying right through. So that seems to be working well. I mean, I haven't dropped any. I dropped a bunch of legendaries, and they're all pretty much crap. So I don't have any legendaries. Um, but, or I'm not playing with any. I've saved them, but I don't really know what the best use of them is. If you know what I should do with all these legendaries that aren't doing me much good, drop it down in the comments. Um, so here I see I completed the map, and I'm just gonna kill the rest of the mobs here real quick, just because I want the experience. I am trying to get to level 77 because my staff doesn't do as much damage as I think it should. So for 3 exalts, I went on the store. I'm and bought a weapon, but I can't use it till I'm level 77. I pretty much played solo self-found for the majority of it. But now that I've got over 300 hours in there, I decided, I should look for some gear. But the only thing I've bought with both characters now, with my mercenary and with this, is a weapon. I haven't bought any other gear off the trade site because I just kind of want to see how the game is, finding stuff and looting it, and then bringing it up. I have quite a few exalts now. I went to the I just traded some to Luna and went and traded. I had a bunch of spikes from picking up gear and refining it, and so I traded in some of those and some of my essences that I've found throughout the campaign, and I traded those in and picked up some exalts so that I could increase the value of my gear. So I go back and as you can see, I hit Doriani and then go into my stash, and I have one divine orb, which is awesome because this whole time I've never had any with almost 300 hours of play. And I thought, well, I've only got about 59% magic find on there, and that's my first divine that I found. With my mercenary, I had about I don't know 70, and yet I never found one. So I've now I'm trying a tier 6 map that's not juiced. It's about half juiced, so I didn't throw a regal in it yet. I just want to see if I can handle a tier 6 map. So I throw it in there and see how that goes. This video seems like it's lagging a little bit because it's not playing at the speed that I thought it should be. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways, so I'm clearing tier 6 map, not regaled, but juiced up to that, so it's got 4 stats on it. And see here. I don't know why the speed is so slow. We'll speed it up a little bit. Go back to this. Okay. So I'm not having too much trouble in a tier 6 map here, as you can see. Everything's kind of dropping like flies. And so pretty stoked about that. That my build not being a strictly, following any guide or anything, and I was able to clear a tier 6 map. So I continue to move along. This is like in slow-mo. That's funny. I don't know why that is. So you can see everything seems to be dropping. And but my mana, that is a struggle constantly. Need mana, need mana, need mana. So I don't know what's going on with this slow-mo of the video though. Odd. But I cleared this map without too much trouble. But at the beginning of it was a delirium mirror. But I was a little worried because when I played the delirium mirrors, when I had played my mercenary build, they just seem to mob me when I open it, and I tend to die. So I avoided it at the beginning, and I just go and clear all the mobs, and then I come back and do the delirium mirror at the end of this. So we're gonna click right along here. So I complete the map, and I don't have any real troubles here. So I end up going back and hitting that delirium mirror at the end, and there was not that many mobs in it for whatever reason. So I didn't really find anything good. So we're gonna cruise along here. So as you can see, my stats here in the corner of what I'm playing. And as you can see, when I proc, pretty much my Herald of Lightning just does massive damage and clears everything around me, which is based off of me freezing things. And then when I freeze things, it procs my Herald of Lightning. So here, towards the end of this map, and I end up finishing the map here. I'm pretty sure this is right at the area where I complete this map. So I think there's one rare left. So looking right along. Freeze everything. Then that procs my Herald of Ice, and it pretty much clears everything around me. So speed it up a little bit further. And yeah. So I don't have too much trouble with this map. So pretty stoked about that. Oh, you can see I still got like 3 left. And I'm cooking right along. There I hit my next level. So I'm now level 73. And fight the couple rares I got left here. And you see that Herald of Thunder does massive damage. And there's the map's complete, which is cool. I kill all the mobs around here. Go back, loot the stuff. So stoked. Level 3. Pick up a little bit of gear. And then I go and throw my skill point in. I go and clear the rest of the map, and then go hit that mirror, and um, and I don't find that much when I hit the mirror, surprisingly enough. So here's the mirror. Throw my point in there. And I add some more attack speed with my quarterstaff. And I hit the mirror. And so here we go. At first I'm like, alright, they're mobbing me. I was a little worried right here. But I cleared this area. And then I go walking around looking for more, and there's like a few here or there, but not really that much for whatever reason. You know, I figured that there should be a whole lot of mobs, and like a few here, a few there. In the previously, when I've done a delirium mirror, I mean, they're just coming at me at high speed, and that usually ends up me not surviving with my mercenary. So, yeah, and that just about does it for this map. Couple here, and take them out. And so a little bit more. But the monk is pretty amazing. So I'm like, all right. I mean, I jumped right up into tier 6 maps since I had a bunch from, because that's where I left off with my mercenary is tier 6 maps. So looking for the last one here. Three, two, one. And there's the end of that delirium. I survived. I'm stoked. So I run around, I pick up a few items. I think I cut that area out. And then I go back and try a higher level map. So, yeah. So that's it. I leave. Get up there, Doriani. And so I'm like, all right, well, if I can clear a tier 6 without too much difficulty and a delirium. So I try a tier 7, and this one I'm going to juice it up and just see. I mean, I'm jumping in tiers. I went tier 1, 2, 3, went straight to 6 without a regal, of course. And then I'm like, all right, well, let's juice a tier 7 and just see if I can jump a whole tier, because I haven't even really done some tier 7 with my mercenary. I've only done tier 6. So I come up and try tier 7 juiced. I don't have any tier 8 and 9 yet. So I was like, all right, I'm throwing this one in here. We'll just see if we can just go straight to it. So I get out there, and at first I'm like, all right, well, there's a lot of mobs. They're kind of, not dying instantly when I'm proccing. So I'm like, this is a little sketchy, but I'm still surviving. So I keep going, and not playing, a specific build that everybody else is already perfected. I'm like, I've jumped pretty far going straight to tier 6 and not having any problems. So going to a tier 7 juiced is kind of extreme right off of, basically just coming out of the campaign and flying through maps. I'm pretty impressed. So I'm thinking, all right, well, if I can do tier 7, then that'll, just fill up my tier 6 that I still have to complete, the last couple of tier 6. And, I'll just gain experience faster. It's pretty stoked. And then right here, I'm starting to get mobbed on a little bit. I mean, I'm actually taking some serious damage, so I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll play a little bit more defensively here. And so I'm like, all right, I'm still with it, considering I haven't even been able to do this with my mercenary that blows everything up. So pick up a few items off the ground. I'm like, let's go forth, do great things, And I'm like, all right, they're not instantly dying like they were in the tier 6 map. So, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm getting mobbed. They're coming at me from all directions. I'm trying to get out of there. I'm like, roll, clear an area. Maybe I can stay alive. And I'm like struggling here. And so I'm like, oh man. Just trying to run away, find a clearing. And I'm just getting dunked on here. So I'm like, can I survive? And nope. That's it. I died. So coming out of the campaign and flying through up to tier 6 maps, I hit tier 7. And I didn't really pick up much here. And yeah. So just a basic build, nothing extreme with my 2 heralds. And coming out of the campaign, I can survive tier 6 maps, half juiced. So in other words, no regaled yet. I think that's pretty good. I have not. It was a struggle to go each tier with my mercenary. So tier 7 juice is a little bit much, but I went back. I played a little bit more off stream and got another regal orb. I'm sorry, another divine orb. So I've had 2 drop. So I don't know whether GGG like patched in where the divine orbs drop a little bit more often, because I've got like 70% magic find on my mercenary and I never found one, and I went through I don't know 80 to 100 maps and never found one. And I'm only like 6 maps in with my monk, and I already found 2. So I don't know if there's been a patch or in there and they changed it in the background without saying anything, or whether I just got lucky. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty excited. I now have 2 divine orbs and I've never had any. So, so a basic build in a monk is pretty kick-ass. So, I thought I would share that with you guys. So, that's Squatch Tech Gaming. This is your host Kryman signing out. Drop a comment down there and tell me what you think, and give me a like and a subscribe, because I'm hurting for subscribers at this time. I'm just starting out. So, all right, you guys have a good one. That'll do it.